Hello, welcome to the dock.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? How's everybody doing?
How are you doing over there? How are you doing?
That's how I'm doing. Look at
What?
me.
What the fuck is your problem?
Nobody fucking told you could talk, bro.
That's Marty, not the belt. Marty.
No.
Marty.
No.
Marty.
Oh,
Marty.
oh, you freaking jerk.
God damn it. Fucking tired of it, man.
Don't speak unless you're spoken to. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dock. Episode 1. Let me fix my mic so it's going to be just shit audio. I apologize.
Episode 1 of the doc.
It's pretty dope. I'm Fred Stewart. I run a podcast called Hans, Graves, and Omens, and I also sell coke in the 80s.
Yeah, looks like you do. My name's Marty Cowick. I also sell coke in the 80s. No, I also co-host a pod with a couple buddies from my band, and we do All My Friends Are Dicks, just kind of another comedy podcast. Gets out of hand all the time, and it's fun though.
You know, it's kind of funny that I went on a very short tangent
did.
about what my podcast is. Didn't really say anything about it, and you decided to tell us your fucking life story. That's really cool.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
So, tell us about your podcast. Right?
Go fuck yourself. How about that? I'll tell you about my podcast. Let me fix my mic.
I thought we had all this sorted before we started. I'm just kidding.
Well, listen. Yeah, because you were such a fucking help. All right. You know what?
Hey, I was.
Dude, he's
helping.
never a help.
Yeah.
You'll learn he's a habitual non-helper.
You know what? Keep it rolling real quick. I gotta grab something.
All right.
All right.
Just keep talking. I totally forgot.
So, Charles, you now have permission to speak.
Yeah. Well, now this is just turning into All My Friends Are Dicks.
Look at your fucking hat.
I know. I'm looking at it.
It's so good.
It's fucking cute, bro. It's fucking cute.
Oh, fuck. First episode. Oh, son of a bitch. That hit me right in the fucking face, bro. God
I told you I
damn.
was going right for his fucking face.
That hurt more than I thought it was going to. Like, I wasn't expecting that. But I've seen videos online where people fucking smack themselves in the face with these things. And holy shit, that stung.
I told him, he's like, should I hit him in the face with it? And I was like, no.
Have you ever had a fucking, like, have you ever been lighting a black cat and the fuse just goes way too fast and it fucking explodes in your goddamn face?
Yeah.
That was very similar to that. Oh, I see what's going on. The bottom needs to come down. See the bottom's hitting?
Oh, yeah.
Dread bottom.
I'm a professional podcaster, I swear to God.
Yeah. How many episodes you got under your belt right now?
I'll tell you in a second. The mic's not muted.
Are you out of
Camera!
Are you out of breath?
Yeah, I am.
I hope we can slow-mo that fucking face.
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
no, for sure.
Because you got me from that angle, so I saw you come in. And I was not expecting that. And it just fucking
So funny.
I mean Charles has exploded on my face a few times,
Yeah.
but that one was the best.
The wide shot, I don't know if it does it justice. Can we cut to the wide? Oh, you can't even see it. The entire room is covered in confetti. Marty's got confetti on him. I, on the other hand, look fantastic.
Well, you already
look
have
fantastic.
confetti on you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But, yeah, first episode of the doc. It's fantastic. We're not here to talk about Hans, Graves, and Omens, but we are. So, but for real, though, it's I'm very excited to launch this the show. Sorry, I know the audio is crazy because we're falling apart here. But
Yeah. First episode, we'll get things dialed in.
yeah. We kind of were on a little bit of a time constraint, and so just stop throwing confetti.
You're the one that brought confetti to the party, bro.
Just full tism. But yeah, we if this backdrop here, me and Marty painted this.
Oh yeah.
It's got our logo, obviously. This is my side. I got like a whole bunch of crazy shit. I got like a fucking cigarette. And if you can't see this, it's on
A space
youtube.com. Check us out. But and then Marty's got the homeless camp, which is real fun.
Yeah, Portland homeless camp. One
And then-
homeless guy on it holding a machete.
Yeah. And then I didn't feel like we didn't even really give him justice, but guy running our cameras and our famous producer here is the ghost of the Titanic.
I am Jack.
So good.
It's so funny. Oh man. Yeah, I can't wait to go back and watch that footage of you just getting absolutely.
Me too. It still stings.
I bet your let me lift up the shades. It's a little red.
You fucking hit me hard. Bro.
Well, when I shot you, I thought like I just shot it right into your ear, and I'm like, oh no, I fucked his hearing up and shit.
Oh, luckily I have this fucking earbud.
Oh, yeah.
It was really funny because I was like, he's like, where should I shoot it? And I was like, probably like against a wall or something, so it comes like right over the top of his head, and it's like scares him, you know. And he's like, I'm gonna shoot him in the face with it, like word for word. I'm like, you shouldn't do that. It's a terrible idea. And then he's like, I've known Morty a long time.
He fucking deserves it.
Yeah.
I was just telling Fred the other day, we were at lunch at work, about how when you used to bully me as a kid or try to, and I got pissed off at you, and then we were at Randy's house, and you sat on top of me, was trying to give me cow eats cabbage, which is essentially where he will grab your belly, squeeze it, and turn, and he calls it cow eats cabbage. But it fucking pissed me off, and he's sitting on top of me, so I'm just fucking boom, 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 just punching him in the face, and he's punching me in the back of the head. It was a good time.
That's fucking ridiculous.
It's like high school.
Was that the only time we scuffled?
No, there's been a few times.
No, I've what was the? Oh God, who's the one the one you told me to start with, the guy like taking a shit on someone's jacket?
Oh, that was a
That's
good
David.
story.
Yeah.
No, it was Eric took a shit on David's jacket.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
He also pissed on it first.
Yeah.
And then he shit on it.
It's fantastic.
So what
Is
happened?
that light and frame? Is this light and frame? This one?
Yeah.
God damn it! You keep the fucking podcast running, and I'll move the light.
Well, I guess this is just turning into all my friends are dicks.
Yeah, this is just
Since Fred's doing all this work.
I know. Do you want to throw me my jersey? That's on the table. My hockey jersey. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna open a bottle of champagne.
The fucking Kraken?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Seattle
Dr.
Krakens.
Petty,
Yeah, I'm a bit Seattle Crackhead fan.
Are you originally a hockey fan?
Yeah, I enjoy hockey. I like any sport where they're allowed to beat the fuck out of each other.
Well, hockey's like, I don't know, like a lot of people on the West don't get it, but hockey's a sport, dude.
Oh fuck yeah, bud. You know, hockey's the shit. You know.
I'm going to Canada this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Maybe catch the fucking Nucks.
dude, that'd be
But
dope.
I hate the Nucks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So,
I think
so
everyone
does
hates
Vancouver,
Yeah.
but yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I want to go see. We talked about it last night, but I said I want to go to Vegas, go watch a Golden Knights versus Kraken's game.
Yeah.
You got that knife on you? You're just gonna vape directly into the fucking mic.
No, it's up there.
Oh my god! I'm gonna fucking.
Can I smoke?
I'll open it.
No, don't open it
I know.
Can I smoke weed
know.
on this pod?
if you're not on camera, I guess.
Yeah. Does that like what is that called?
Well, it's just because this is going on YouTube. I don't know. I guess people smoke meth on YouTube.
Well, hell, people smoke weed now. It's 2020. We're in fucking Oregon.
Yeah, that's true.
Other than you guys aren't supposed to have weed around you, I guess.
Yeah.
I see your roommate chiefing that shit hard.
I mean, yeah, it's legal.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all narcotics, especially Class A narcotics, should be legal. Personally, I think
Well, isn't in Oregon they are?
No, they're not.
they're
they're
decriminalized. They're not legal.
Literally, we were playing a show at Dante's a couple months ago.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is.
That was the real sound. Oh, God damn.
Gushing. It's fucking gushing, daddy.
Take the pod track. Make sure there's make sure there's nothing on it. I care about that thing more than I care about my clothes.
Yeah, no, that's good. It is nice and dry.
Guess what? I'm not.
He's wet.
You make me wet, Fred.
Man.
You can't be a Coke dealer from the 80s without being covered in champagne.
I know. But it's also like 30 degrees.
Do you want me to grab
It's
you?
also like- yeah.
Do you want me to grab you a towel? or
Yeah,
something?
that'd be nice. Thank
I'll be
you.
right back.
I appreciate that. It'll just be me and Charles, fucking covered in champagne. I smell like I smell like what I can only assume to be like a Hollywood drug dealer. Like,
Yeah.
cut to Marty's empty chair. Cut to Marty's empty chair real quick. Just hold that shot.
Well, you can see all the confetti. That's where you can actually see the confetti shot.
Thanks, man.
Look at that man, dude. Marty is fucking cutting weight. I noticed last night when we were performing, or I watched the story, one of the stories we were tagged in on Instagram, and I was looking at Marty. I was like, damn, dude, this dude's getting fucking cut.
He is
You
cut.
a little cut.
Getting cut like an emo. Now, listen, I'm allowed to say that. I've self-harmed. All right.
Anyway,
When was the last time you tried to kill yourself, Marty?
well, Charles just tried to kill me with a fucking confetti cannon. No, but yeah,
This will be a real quick bottle of champagne, dude.
since March last year, I've lost almost 60 pounds.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, not even a year yet, so
Yeah.
I'm still trooping, hanging in there. And I really started cutting it when I started working at the airport, just because, it's such a physical job and walking like fucking 6 to 10 miles a day.
What's it like working at the airport?
It's a lot of sitting around waiting, hurry up and wait, fucking.
Yeah.
Obviously, but when you work hard, and a lot of fucking walking,
Fucking
a lot of throwing bags.
my taint's fucking wet. Like not like in that sense. Everything's wet.
Bro, my taint's always wet. I don't think my taint has been dry since I was like 8 years old.
Chronic
Shit is
wet taint.
a swamp, bro. Shrek lives down there.
Ah, dude.
Wait, so were we supposed to toast this?
Yes, you fucking drunk. God.
Let's see if you. I guess you guys are too far. Like my fucking shit randomly gets in there.
Cheers.
Well,
Three
cheers.
cheers.
Ready? Well, you guys cheers, and I'll do this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey. Yeah. You know what's really funny is that shot looks like it makes you look like you're so far away. You're maybe like 2 or 3 feet from Marty.
Yeah.
We
Like, reach out and touch tips with me. We're touching tips right now. We're docking.
I still can't
Yeah.
get my hand in the.
So we have a lot of fun stuff planned for this podcast. We make sure my audio is still recording. We're gonna do some fun skits, some fun bits. We're launching probably a Twitch.
Yeah.
Because we're fun fact. I talked about this on Hans Graves and Omens briefly, but we're here now. We're launching a podcast network. So all of your favorite fun shows will be all part of one network. And we'll have a streaming platform on Twitch and be able to do some like fun live streams, and we'll have YouTube videos, whole bunch of fun stuff planned. So this year is going to be really dope. So if you have any suggestions for bits you want to see on a podcast, go ahead and leave them in the comments, or don't. I'll just cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, you can email them to us or anything like that. And we're pretty wide open
Yeah.
to what we will do. So go ahead and throw whatever you think.
And if you want to go and email us, it's going to be right here. And for the people listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, check the description. So, yeah.
We got some pretty funny things.
Dude, our next episode is going to be so... this episode's already starting to crack up to be real fucking chaotic. But our next episode is going to be just as chaotic.
Oh, I love it.
I have a feeling. But we're just talking about podcasting, blah, blah, blah. But I don't even know, man. What was what was that story I was going to tell you when we were at the store grabbing all this shit? It was about champagne. That's what it was. So I went solo camping like a couple years ago, and I never solo camped before, and it wasn't supposed to be intentional solo camping. My friends didn't show up, so I started. I just was like, fuck it, I'll just go anyway. I already paid for the spot, so I hike all the way up into the woods, and there's a site like right next to mine And there was like this lovely old man and his granddaughter, and they were like, we're going fishing and doing all this fun stuff. And there was like, okay, at least there's nice people nearby, you know, kind of looking out. He'd be like, you want anything to eat? I'll come feed you. It's like, you know, very sweet, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided that night I was going to get fucking hammered. So I opened up the same bottle of champagne, killed the entire thing in probably like 5 minutes.
Cook's Brute.
Yeah. We're gonna have to mute all that.
Oh yeah.
They're not a sponsor.
We'll just bleep it out.
Yeah, fuck. I'll just voice over and say
Well,
something
look at their fucking logo in the
Oh.
camera.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. It's fine, probably. But I drank an entire thing of it. And if you've never drank an entire bottle of champagne by yourself, you don't look like you sell Coke in the 80s. But
What do you look like?
well, if you haven't done it, or you have. Because if you have, you look like me.
Yeah.
But if you haven't done it,
But what do you look like at
know
the
you-
end of the bottle of champagne?
oh, you're fucking trashed. I'll tell a different story about that. But I killed it, and I was like, I'm gonna make some hamburgers, and so it's like the middle of the night, right? And I had my gun because it's an open carry state, and I was in a national park, so you know it's fine. So or not national park, I was in the woods.
Were you in Washington?
Yeah, and so I had my gun, I'm good to go, open carry, you know, chilling, and you know, when you're in the woods, it's obviously void of light, so you can't see anything, and I'm just like just fucking jamming, listening to whatever, cooking my stuff, just flying, right? And then here, hey. And
Is it dark outside?
yeah. And I look up, and there's just a fucking face of a dude across the table from me. And his eyes are like bouncing around in his head. And he's like, do you think they're going to steal from me? And I'm like, who? And he goes, them. I go, like the old guy and the little kid? No. And he goes, no, like other people. It's like, no, man. He goes, yeah, it's because I'm staying in the woods right there. And it was like fucking 10 feet like off the trail in the woods. I could see his camp. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to come back later. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm fucked up. And I'm like, I contacted the camp host, and she's like, I'll have to call the sheriffs.
Yeah.
And by her, she meant me, because she yelled at me for waking her up, which was a super cool thing to do. And then, because I'm like, I'm terrified. There's a fucking dude like living across from where I'm trying to sleep, you know,
In the bushes.
in the bushes. So I called the sheriff, and they came out, and they're like, where is he? I'm like, yeah, he's back in there. And then they go in there, and like they just hear a bunch of yelling, and the guy fucking running down, the cops chasing him down the path. Solo camping is tight. But yeah, dude, I love champagne.
I've never been solo camping.
Oh,
before.
it's so much fun. It's really fucking scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of thrilling though. You know, some people are like, it's peaceful, it's whatever. It's just kind of lonely. But like, what I was doing 99% of the time was fishing. So I would just literally just like put some headphones in and swim out to, you know, whatever. You know, have my phone in a floatable thing, so I could just, you know, be totally waterproof and just out there and just fish until I got tired and go home, go back to my site, eat my food, get a little fucked up, go to bed.
Do you think you could last? Like, how long do you think you could last in the show alone? You think, like, are you okay with being alone? Like, have you been alone for a period of time? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, isolated alone, not just like, you know, like no partners or like just like isolated by yourself for a certain period of time.
I mean, what's the premise? Do you just get dropped into a place with some supplies and then
They give you like a list. You pick like 15 items off the list, and then they drop you in a very remote location.
do they provide like food and
No, you have to forage for your own food, based off of like one of the items. You know, you can get like a bow, or you can get some fishing string and some hooks, or like whatever. But that's all you get, and you build a shelter, whatever. You have to like fish, hunt, gather,
Yeah.
you know, all that shit. So it's like you really kind of have to have a knowledge. Like most of the people on the show, you know, all of the people on the show have some, like they pre-screen them, so they have some knowledge of like existing in the wild by themselves.
I could probably last 30 days comfortably. and then I don't know how for an extended amount of time. But 30 days comfortably. I mean, I can build a shelter. I can get a fire started. I can get my own food. But I feel like at the end of those 30 days, I probably want to just fucking die.
They drop these people off to like in fall time, so it's like 30 days go by and it's winter, and it's like fucking snowing, and they drop them in like the craziest places where there's high like bear activity and wolf activity and shit like that, bro. Like the very first season, you see the guy fucking whatever, like he gets dropped off, and then he gets stalked by wolves or like a bear, and he quits the first fucking day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, some real shit. And
where they dropped him like what, like Dyatlov Pass and shit?
Victoria Island.
Oh, Canada?
In Canada, yeah.
Canada, okay.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Victoria Island.
Do you know what Dyatlov Pass is?
Huh.
So it's a fucking incident in Russia. We covered it on Hans Graves and almost check it out. Episode right here in the description, right there. It's a thing. But we covered it, and it's about like these like 8 hikers are going through a pass in Russia, and then they basically didn't arrive at their point that they should have.
Yeah.
And so the authorities went out there and they found them, but like some were like butt naked, some people were in trees, some people were like had like traumatic injuries, but only to certain parts of their body that would make sense, and some people had like radiation burns and shit.
Were they just like tripping off something?
They don't know. It was also the USSR, so
yeah, they probably gave him some sort of drugs.
So I feel like I could probably survive if it was
yeah.
that. yeah. What first mate Charles? Do you think you could? How long do you think you'd last?
In the wild?
Yeah, like if you did like alone, like how long do you think you could survive?
I don't know, man. Like a long time. I
have a better question for you. So if you're on alone, you get dropped off on this island, you know, or whatever in the wild. How long could you last without jerking off?
Oh, not long at all.
They go, we're dropping off Charles on a remote island in Victoria, Canada. And then like the truck leaves, and like it's a panning shot of the truck leaving, and it pans back, and he's just like just staring at it.
14 of the 15 items he brought is lube.
No, they would literally like they would be driving, they would be like, oh shit, I left something, and then they would turn back and I'd already be jacking off.
Everybody's making a shelter. He's making like some sort of like fuck doll.
Everyone's making a shelter, but I'm mixing a batch.
Charles, a man born and raised in New Mexico, must survive in Victoria, Canada for 30 days alone. And they're like, unfortunately, we had to stop filming immediately because he began masturbating violently on the trip to Victoria, Canada.
Hey, it turns into a porno.
He's the only one on alone to ever fuck a bear.
A bear on bear action.
All right, Charles, it's time for you to get out of Canada. And he's like, I have a bear wife and 3 beautiful half bear, half man hybrids. This is my family now. I have a
man bear, Charles.
I got a 401k and dental and a whole bunch. I got a fucking job I got to go to after this, man. And we're good.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna squirrel bank, huh?
That shit would be wild though.
Yeah,
being like completely isolated, because I recently went fishing up by like Hood Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Went with some buddies. Went with my buddy Luke and his wife, who you met last night.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we were trout fishing, and they're also like foragers. They forage for like mushrooms, like chanterelles, and all these like, you know, like really expensive fucking edible, like. Taste good mushrooms, not tripping mushrooms.
Yeah, like so chicken in the woods and stuff.
Yeah, chicken of the woods, like chanterelles, black trumpets, all that stuff. But anyway, it was like foraging time of the year. So as we're walking down the trail, we seen a bunch of mushrooms. But anyway, I was like fishing, and they're like, "We're gonna go mushroom hunting. You mind if we if you just stay here?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'm just fishing." So I'm like fishing, and there's nobody out there. It's fucking dead silent, and it was very like peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I was thinking about that show, and I was like, could I last like being alone for a long time, you know? Because and then I was starting to think about like if like what would I do if a bear ran up on me right now or some shit like that? Like I don't have any weapons on me or anything, and then I hear this fucking right behind me, like right when I'm having that thought, and I'm like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And I turn around and I forgot they had their little fucking bulldog who's back there like so it like scared the fuck out of me, bro. And then I was like trying to call him, but there's no service. I'm like, where are you guys at? I don't want to be here anymore. I tap out.
It'd be more. That'd be even more fucked up if they walked away and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go forward for mushrooms. So it'll be you and the dog." And you're like, "Okay." And then you're fishing. And they walk on the distance, and you just hear, "Hello, Marty." You turn around, you're like, "What the fuck?" I've waited a long time for this, Martin. Do you fear death, Martin? Do you feel the death that is creeping in that I will provide to you?
Yeah.
And then you're like, what? What the fuck is going on?
I'd be like,
The secret life of pets is fucked up.
the secret life of pets.
Yeah. 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 I think I told you because we talked about like my roller coaster fascination and
your roller coaster tism.
My roller coaster tism. Yeah. And I can say that my wife's autistic, probably. Listen,
Me too.
Listen, we took the test, like the short test, and I took it as a joke, and it said you're most likely not autistic.
I mean, how accurate are these tests?
Well, I'll tell you. So I took it, and it was like you're most likely not autistic, and I'm like, okay, just smoking weed directly, and it was like you're probably not autistic. So I told Taylor, my lovely co-host of Hans Curves and Omens, my soon-to-be wife, I was like, you should take it, and then it was like you have a high likelihood you're most likely autistic. And I was like, it makes so much sense. But yeah, I mean,
if you can go on the internet and get a license to like marry people in a few seconds, you should be able to know if you're autistic in a few seconds.
Yeah.
So I think that's how that works.
Well, it's like the average male penis size is 5 inches, but the average penis size of the male who looks up the average penis size is 3 inches.
Yeah.
It's like you'll know, like for sure. But yeah,
I've never looked that up before. How big is my dick?
Your dick?
I'm just kidding. How big is the average person who's never looked up how the average person's size dick is?
Just look me in the fucking eyes, viewers. Look me in the eyes. Okay.
How big is my dick, you guys?
It's big. Tiny. Just fucking, yeah, just you gotta get it framed. It wasn't even framed. It's tiny.
But how much foreskin you got?
Well, it's kind of like what is that character? It's that like Star Wars character with the floppy nose.
Yeah, that's Marty's dick.
Yeah,
I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, you guys have lap hogs.
Watto's the name.
You guys have lap hogs, but I have a pig and a blankie.
Okay, so
No, as a kid, though, and this might be a little racist. I don't know if this is going to stay on there, but me and Charles grew up in New Mexico, which is predominantly Navajo Native American. But so my brother is circumcised and I am not. And I always thought I was the weird kid or whatever. But we called his dick a helmet head and mine an Indian stick. I don't know where that came from. But he's like, he has an Indian stick. I have a helmet head.
I don't think that doesn't sound like a racist thing.
No, I mean,
it's just a weird thing to say.
We're like 7, 8, you know.
Yeah, I can't believe.
I think it's a walking stick with something on the end of it.
Probably. But yeah, so one of my tisms, if you will, is roller coasters. I want to get away from talking about your weird dick. And
we got another pod for that.
Yeah. We'll save that.
All my friends are dicks.
It's mostly 90% of them talking about my foreskin.
Yeah, it's such a good show. It's so fun. But yeah, so I when I went to Universal a while back, because I fucking love Universal Studios. They have a Secret Life of Pets ride, and man, let me tell you, I wanted to die the entire time. Just
But would it be awesome if you did a bunch of drugs before you?
No, sir.
Why?
No, because it's a bunch of animatronics of talking animals.
Yeah, but I feel like that would make it even more. I mean,
Fuck
I've never
no.
personally, I've never really done like drugs, like anything too crazy, weed, mushrooms, but that's pretty much it. But if you do like some good drugs, like some LSD.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that that'd be a good idea. I think that'd be a terrible idea.
A little bit of heroin.
Live the Kurt Cobain diet. No, I think that'd be a terrible idea. I think that'd be a just completely awful idea, because you walk in and it's like it kind of starts off like really cute where you're going through like the ride walkthrough. To get to the actual ride, where it has like little animatronics of characters, and they're saying the funny lines, and there's the little dachshund getting his back scratched by the mixing machine, and like it's all these cute little things, and then all of a sudden they'll just be an animal, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, oh, what? Like how fuck that'd be if you were tripping balls, and you're like, "Okay, man, I'm starting to freak out a little bit, starting to hit really hard," and then you just hear like a rabbit, and he's like, "I know what you're thinking." I can hear your heartbeat beating. I think it's getting slower and slower and slower. And you're like, oh, come ahead.
That sounds like one rapey rabbit. That's what I wouldn't be afraid of dying. I'd be afraid of getting raped by a rabbit.
Yeah, I just totally undid my my thing. That's fun.
Ooh, yeah. Fred is getting freaky on the podcast.
I was trying to tie it.
First episode, and you're already getting naked.
Onlyfans.com/Fred Stewart. Check it out.
Grinder.
Only Freds.
Only Freds. Yeah, actually, you can see right here in the wide shot is our Only Freds logo. You can see that right there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
You should make that
He's
a
got
website.
great JOI videos.
Onlyfreds.com.
If I ever really deep dive into comedy and have to make like a website for like stand up, I'll make my website called Be Only Freds.
That's a fucking great idea. Good thing you had it on yourself and Charles had no help on it, because you're not even supposed to be talking. What the fuck are you doing?
Also, just real quick on the Only Freds, copyright.
Yeah.
Secured. So.
Yeah, you can't steal it. That was legally binding.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this. This is pretty dope. We've been spent a lot of time setting all this up and getting it all together. And
yeah.
You want to just continue to cough while I'm trying?
Oh, I'm sorry. You
think this is a fucking joke?
Everybody poops, Fred.
You think this is a fucking? Come back to his shot. Come back to his shot. You think this is a joke? Huh? I can't even I just look over. I look over and he cuts back.
Now
to
laugh without smiling.
It's just a fucking the rapid changes, man. It's fucking. Charles, can you get on your cam and laugh without smiling?
I can't look at myself because it is so.
Do
As soon as I see myself, I laugh.
Do it again. Yeah, but so me and Fred worked together. It's how we met, but we soon we first started talking about music. Fucking, you were like, yeah, I play in a band, and so we're talking about music, and then we started wanting to maybe do music together, and then you told me about your podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, I have a podcast too, and then. And then we were just chilling, and then you told me that you want to make another like a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
And then I was naturally, well, I can do the podcast with you.
Yeah. And I kind of bounce around the idea of who I wanted to kind of be our third guy, and I had some people I was gonna bring in, and I talked to some people, and I was like, dude, Charles has got to be the guy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got to be, man. Just it's the perfect level of absolute chaos.
Yeah.
You know? He walked in because we have these dope captain's hats because we thought it'd be fun, little bit for the first episode. We're for the fun captains, of the thing. And
Put on the other hat real quick, Charles.
Yeah, and so I was like, I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh man, I didn't even think about grabbing Charles a hat, and then I was like, oh, I got an idea. And so if you look on the camera, and we're gonna cut to the camera now if you're watching on YouTube, and so we got him this. We got him this.
Go back.
Yeah. Marty's dying.
Oh, it's so good.
But just look it up. Hey, what's going on with that screen, Charles? What's going on in the background?
It's the Titanic, bro.
Okay. Can you give us some quick facts about the Titanic?
Well, it sunk in 1912.
Is that real?
1,200 people died.
Yes.
It was April 14th.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it
it
looked
hit an
exactly like that?
iceberg. It sunk right off of Nova fucking Scotia. I actually know a lot about Titanic. That's why I suggested it. I have a Titanic-tism.
I don't see what's
His
I don't,
tism about Titanic is titanically gigantic.
I love Titanic, bro.
Fred's looking at me like I'm kicked off of the podcast.
I don't see what's so funny about the Titanic sinking. I think it's a tragedy.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's a good thing all those fucking
Close.
Irish people died. I'm just kidding. I'm Irish.
I'm Irish.
Yeah. Well, you're also fun fact, if we cut to his thing, you can actually see on the wall right here. It says on Marty's cam, it actually says he says right here. It's at this little shot right here. Come back to let's see, it's right there. It says 3.1% Jewish.
3.4.
3.4.
3.4.
Yeah.
Ashkenazi Jewish.
That's pretty cool.
Marty's Jewish?
Yeah.
I am Jewish.
Wow.
I know we just
My ancestry. I was reading it to Fred yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking 68% Irish. Whatever, 5.5%, or it was like 15%, something like that. 13% fucking French and German.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5.5% Spanish and Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
And 3.4% Ashkenazi Jewish.
Yeah.
0.5% like fucking Swedish or some shit like that. And then
So we figured we can kind of
100
milk some of that content for the podcast that Marty's Jewish.
Yeah. And also
Technically.
Oh, he's a little Hispanic,
100% Zaddy.
I can't believe it. I just sort of the first episode and I already want to quit. So tired. Yeah, I don't know, man, but for those of you watching on YouTube, it'll be really fun you'll see the transformation of this podcast, how much it changes. But do you want to just keep coughing every time I talk? Huh?
Yeah, I should quit vaping. Because I quit smoking cigarettes a couple weeks ago, and then I've just been doing the chews or whatever, not real chews, the Nick pouches.
Yeah.
And then last night, we played a show with the MFA. Fred went.
Yep.
But I vaped real hard at the show because I was drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And today my throat is like sore from vaping so hard last night.
Yeah. And also blowing dudes in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bathroom and on stage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was funny. That was a good bit.
Yeah, that was not a bit.
Oh.
It was just
Hey,
life.
hey, congratulations. But yeah, man, it's we're gonna have a lot of fun with this shit in the studio. Can't wait for all my friends or dicks to come in here and record. But we're and then Oscars and all that BS will be fun. But yeah, man, I don't know. We I keep saying we have so much stuff planned. I keep repeating myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that we.
I feel like it's just been such a long, like it hasn't been too long, we just came up with the idea for this about like a month ago maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's taken so long for it to come into fruition. And there's a lot of work because this room that we're in 1 week ago looked completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and Fred have been knocking it out and fucking getting ready. We painted this fucking thing. This was an all-day project.
Yeah,
we went to crafts together. We also did a bunch of stuff because we're a cute couple now, and we decided to go paint, and it was Fred's idea. He decided to go paint. And then you should have seen him when we went to paint this. He took action, and Marty likes a man who takes action.
The dead silence that fell over the room. Yeah, no, it was pretty dope. It was pretty fun doing that. I just want to talk again about this backdrop here. I have on my side, I got like a shark drinking a PBR. I got like a dumpster fire, Willamette River lime drop off. Everybody throwing lime scooters. I got a boat crashing into the thing. I got like people dumping trash in the Willamette because it's a serious problem that we should have looked into. We got like UFOs and spooky stuff and a cigarette that's floating in space and a homeless camp on top of Mount Hood that's erupting.
Is that erupting hearts?
No, it's just like little chunks of stuff falling out.
Lava?
Yeah, little lava action.
Yeah, it was because when we were painting it,
The
I was
Loch Ness
really
Monster.
like paying attention so much to my side that I wasn't looking at your side as much.
Mm-hmm. And
I felt like I got through like a tiny little bit, and I look over, and you have so much, and I'm like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do on this side?" It's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I spent an hour on just the fucking Portland sign, and then I look over, and you got a whole fucking Jesus being born. the Big Bang life happening.
like a 1-for-1 scale of the Last Supper, like ready to go.
Yeah. If you zoom in really far on this spot,
Can't.
Yeah,
Right
I mean, he can. But,
yeah.
but we can do it in post, maybe.
But you see the baby Jesus being born, and it's actually in 4K. Fred is that good.
Go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna animate baby Jesus coming out of there 4K. You know how hard that's gonna be.
I'm not saying you have to animate it because it's really there, but if you had a micro camera that you could zoom in,
Oh
you
yeah,
can see it.
yeah. You can actually see it. And listeners, if you listen really close, you can hear baby Jesus being born.
Yeah.
Listen, just listen.
That was so perfect.
I don't know if that's gonna pick up on the mic, but as I said that, we paused. The dog just whined downstairs.
I hope that picks up.
I hope that picks up. That was so funny. Oh man, that's fantastic.
She is also part of this podcast.
Yeah, no, Molly's definitely part of this podcast. What do we have for time? What's that say? 42 minutes. Not even close.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I can't. How do you feel about the confetti? Was that a fun little bit?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I forgot.
I will say that I was kind of expecting the confetti because
Got my flask.
Fred had told me. By the way, he didn't tell me that he was doing confetti. He keeps planning these bits, and he's like, "Oh, you don't know about it until you know about it, but it's gonna be good." And then the other day, he was like, I can tell he was like really like antsy, wanting to like tell me what was gonna happen, but then because he was excited for it, but then didn't want to tell me what was gonna happen. So he's like, I'll just say I have something labeled explosives coming in the mail, and
Yeah.
then you were like, well, you might need a vacuum cleaner. And so I was thinking, like, what could be explosives? And I was like, he's got fucking confetti.
Want a little nip of mezcal, my guy?
I'll take a little nip.
Yeah.
I like little nips.
Yeah, take the nip
Out
of
of,
this.
and you can hold the label out
Yeah,
on that
it's-
one.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take like a fat thing of it because it's really smoky.
But for real, though, my fucking eye hurts.
I bet.
That shit hit me directly right here
Yeah.
in the corner of my eye. And also right before the podcast, I couldn't see shit, and I lost both my pairs of glasses, so I went to put contacts in.
And your keys.
And I got one contact, the first time it has ever happened to me, stuck underneath my eyelid, and I couldn't get it
I know,
out.
and I started freaking out because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like eye stuff.
And I couldn't get it out, so I was rubbing my eye a lot, and it got a little sore. And then when you fucking hit me, it hit me in the eye with the confetti.
Listen,
pretty much.
I didn't hit you in the eye.
No,
It was
not
Charles.
you. Charles hit me in the eye with the confetti.
Yeah.
And now my eye is sore.
Yeah, I bet you might have a little dark spot in your eye.
That's okay.
But let's get it.
No
Let's get a shot of
studs.
Marty drinking out of the badass MFA flask.
that Fred bought a couple
Yeah,
shows ago.
Nice.
check it out, man. Let's get the shot.
That's the first record.
Yeah.
That's an old school. That's
Ooh, that is gnarly. What is that? That tastes like milk cigarettes.
Take another sip.
You didn't even take a drink of it, you fucker. What is really in there? That is horrible. That tastes like milk and cigarettes, bro.
Meco seco.
What the fuck is that?
So
Tastes like Pepto-Bismol. That like 80-year-old Asian women just blew smoke into a fucking pile of Pepto-Bismol.
cut to my camera, and I'll pour it in. If it starts to come out, you'll see.
That is disgusting.
So it's
What is that?
Purple
What did I take a
drink.
drink of?
it's fucking mezcal and heavy whipping cream. Remember when I was mixing it this morning?
Yeah. He said he was making colored mashed potatoes for his fiance later. That is gnarly. Is mezcal like smoky?
Yeah, you never had like actual mezcal?
No,
I can
no.
go grab the actual bottle. We'll try a little bit, but
That is disgusting.
Wasn't Marty a vegan?
but you gonna throw up.
Oh, I feel it a little bit.
You're a vegan and you just consume cow.
You're so fucking sweaty. You're so fucking.
That was disgusting.
You're gonna have to take a shit soon.
I can't fucking. I have stomach hurts. I can't breathe. I've been playing that bit for fucking months. I've been playing it for so long.
You have to taste it. Taste it.
No.
Just a little tiny sip.
All right.
Just get it on your taste buds.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Oh, wait,
But if you're not expecting it, though, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
like how I was saying.
Dude, actually, the aftertaste is horrific. It tastes like you're right. It tastes like milk and cigarettes.
Yeah, bro. Like it tastes like a cigarette that had been rained on and dried about 50 times, and a homeless lady had it in their pussy.
That is, yeah, that is gross. That's bad. Pranked you.
Got him.
Yeah. No,
So,
I literally, the moment that you said, like, we started talking about the podcast and we started, like, wanting to do bits and shit, I was like, I should fill a flask full of heavy whipping cream and give it to him and say it's a fun drink. And then I brought the mezcal because I actually do want to do, like, a little thing of mezcal because it's delicious. And I was like, man, I should mix them together. Because when you were starting to get the mount, like, we have a TV that's right here. It's up above. And when he was like measuring out where everything was, I was in the kitchen pouring heavy whipping cream into a flask. And yeah, dude, that is fucked. That tastes like dog shit. Get another sip.
Yeah, it's I just keep tasting the smokiness of it.
It's so bad. Oh,
It
God.
tastes like
Dude, it literally tastes like, imagine you have COVID and you just smoke through COVID, and then the moment you get your taste buds back, you're like, now it's time for a nice cup of milk. But the milk's gone bad.
yeah.
The milk's gone bad.
Charles, do you want a little sip?
No,
Dude,
man.
taste it,
No,
Charles.
I'm on a diet.
Well, give it a little sip. Give it a little
You
sip.
don't even have to consume it. Just put it on your taste
no.
buds.
Get it on your taste buds. Get it on your taste buds. Come on.
No,
You
I'm
have
not.
to-
Dude, normally this isn't something
He
I would
agreed.
back out of. Marty would contest
Listen,
this.
I'm
it's-
also on a diet.
listen,
yeah, but mine's
it-
different.
it's
Mine's different. I'm
mine's-
vegan.
okay.
Bro.
Yeah, but mine's differenter.
but listen,
Just
you
you
gotta
don't even have to consume it. You
Charles,
just
I
put
gotta
it on your
stay.
taste
Hey,
buds.
listen, I gotta stay in ketosis.
Charles, you're not gonna break your diet. It's
doing
just
keto.
you're doing it. Yeah.
All right, give it to me.
Yeah, it's not breaking the.
shit.
Don't even swallow any of it.
I'm
Like
going
literally.
back to being a sailor.
Yeah, you probably don't want to actually drink it because it's probably not for human consumption.
Yeah, I
But-
drank it. It went down my fucking throat into my stomach.
Get a little sip. Just keep it on that shot for a minute. Let's just see how it makes you feel.
Go back to you.
Go back. Just give it back.
But it just makes me want a ciggy.
Oh, dude, you can keep that over there, bro. I don't want
Is
that.
Nate here? Hey Nate, come try this. My roommate just got here from work.
Hi, Nate.
So Fred had me trying this
this cocktail.
this cocktail he made. It's mezcal mixed with heavy whipping cream.
Yeah. Do you want to give a little taste test?
Can we add some Kahlua?
I mean,
Nah, that will get rid
I don't
of
think
the
that's gonna
purple
make it. I
drag.
don't think it's gonna make it better, but you can definitely.
Do you want to taste it? See what it? He surprised me with this.
You
Just-
wanna-
I think
wanna-
it
you
was
wanna-
just
here,
regular
yeah,
alcohol.
come stand like right next to Marty,
Like right here.
like
We'll
yeah,
stand in the middle.
stand in the middle.
There you go.
This is my roommate Nate.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Just
Tell me what it tastes like.
just take take a sip.
It's a little musky.
It says it's
Oh,
a
it's
little
about to get
musky.
more musky.
That's it. It's that's your only reaction to this little musky.
I told Fred it tastes like 80-year-old Asian women were smoking cigarettes, chain smoking cigarettes, and just blowing it into a bottle of Pepto Bismol for about 4 hours.
Definitely had a Pepto taste.
Yeah, it's got the Pepto color too, for sure.
He put food coloring in it.
Yeah, it's a work of art.
Oh, Cooks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No expense.
Also,
No, all $10.
also, Fred went out for a second when we first started and shot confetti into the room, and then Charles over here had one loaded up, and he shot me in the fucking face with it, and it hurt.
Was that before or after you guys went through the mezcal?
That was before.
That was before. That was like at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. yeah. It's fantastic,
I mean, it tastes kind of like wet dog. I think that's probably
dude. It's honestly
It says
pretty
it
fun.
tastes like wet dog.
Yeah, it's not good. I think I was gonna go to think of mezcal, but we got some time, so I'm gonna just crack open a fucking brewski.
Yeah, I might have some more champ. Some more champ.
I think the champagne is gone.
Yeah, this is how I'm dressed today.
Well, half of it went all over you, so.
Well, yeah. Trying to be like a fucking like a chicken in like an Akon video, bro. I'm trying to, get that shit sprayed.
smack that.
Smack that all on
Look
the
at
floor.
this.
Look, you can
Screen
see,
with
it
Charles.
looks like there's a turd.
Look at. Switch to your camera real quick, Charles. Look at this screen, Nate.
Oh shit. Oh fuck, I'm fucking up.
There you go.
Super Charles.
What's that face I make?
Nate,
when I
you want to
poop?
take my spot real quick while I grab something?
What is the face you make when you
Here.
poop?
It was this. Let's see if I can do it. Hold on. Watch this. Oh, wait, I gotta start.
Hold on. Let me stand like this. You can go.
Oh man.
I could probably do a better one, but
So this podcast is just. We don't have any certain direction for it.
Yeah.
It's all just chaos, and it's part of the network that me and Fred are building called Comedy Chaos TV, CCTV.
That's my ex-girlfriend's name.
Comedy Chaos?
Chaos.
Chaos? Who? That's her legal?
No, that's her stripper name.
Oh, okay. We talking to the microphone?
It's her stripper name.
You're talking into the microphone like you were at court, and somebody's like, you're like, I didn't do it. And they're like talking to the microphone. You're like, I didn't do it.
Your Honor.
Yeah, so this is Nate, my roommate.
Nate the roommate.
Yeah, we
Nate
went
the
together.
mate.
It's pretty
Camera
crazy.
3.
Oh, you're back. Look at you. You want your captain seat back?
I think there's a shark coming in. Eyes black as a doll's eyes.
I gotta throw this away.
Just rolling a blunt on the pod.
I think I'm smoking in there.
It was a CBD gluten-free treat.
Yeah. That what he was holding in his hand, right there, was just tobacco, and that is the truth because he has not dumped out the tobacco and put weed in it yet.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, so you've had mezcal before?
I have not.
You have not. So, Mr. Von Diskewich, one of our dear friends, plays drums in our band. One of my best friends for like 10 years. Had a Halloween party, and he was like, I brought some mezcal. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And that's about as much as I'm going to pour for myself. But, Here, you know, you can just take a little taste test. Take a little taste test of it. It's actually pretty good. It's real
Zoom
smoky.
in there.
Look in the camera, Marty.
Yeah.
Like when you do shit like that, you gotta look at the camera.
I don't know if I could do that. All right, let's see.
Yeah, just take a little. I mean, it's just a little. It's a little. Here, I'll get some. I'll get some in your little champagne cup and.
I hate that so much.
You're supposed to sip it, not kill it.
There was a sip in. Oh my goodness,
Marty.
I do not like that. People drink that shit.
Yeah, it's like smoky and.
Yeah, it tastes like I poured liquid smoke and vodka down my throat.
The underlying bit of this podcast is making Marty vomit on camera.
Yes.
You know,
It has not happened yet, but I
that'd be
don't.
so funny, dude.
It's episode 1.
Episode one.
I got real close. Let me tell you. And not from the milk
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
but from that just now.
Really?
Yeah, that was bad. I don't like the taste of alcohol in general,
I
Really?
don't think anyone does.
and I don't like the taste of fucking old stale cigarettes.
That's fair.
And
Charlie,
that
you want
tastes
a
like
little nip?
nail polish
All right.
remover
Right
mixed
now.
with old
I'm
stale
good.
cigarettes.
Okay.
What's up? Yeah, fuck yeah.
If you want to,
I mean, this is their podcast.
if you want to
but-
grab a chair, you can probably sit next to the green screen.
I have a chair.
I mean, they kind of smoke this.
Hold on. You talk for a second. I have a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you'll be out of frame.
well, yeah. Okay. We'll just continue the podcast on.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna sit in the doorway.
He's gonna sit probably right here.
Okay. You might need to back that big light up. That's behind you, Charlie. The one behind you. Not in front of you. Not the one in front of you. The one behind you. On the ground behind you.
Oh.
On the ground. No.
That one
The
right
big You guys fucking.
What are you talking about?
There's a fucking light. That big ass
there.
light. That's
That
on
one. I didn't even know that was on the ground.
Back it up.
He just. Well, yeah. I said you might need to back it up just a little bit, like
Back
closer,
it up, Zaddy.
like
You're
closer
over
to
here.
you, closer to you. Yeah.
go.
Like maybe I don't know.
Okay, but if you're sitting in here, Nate, you have to wear the little captain's hat.
Oh yeah, dude, this is gonna be so fucking ridiculous. Yeah, we'll see how that looks. That should look fine on camera.
Have you seen this head?
Well, yeah.
You have the perfect.
Well, it's a green screen, so you gotta
you go.
see.
Hold on, let me fix it a little bit.
It's gotta be perfect.
I feel like that's the best it's gonna get.
This is already. This is what Comedy Chaos Network is all about. It's just fucking.
You can't
out
really
of,
see it. But
It's
all
out of control immediately.
I have an idea.
Immediately out of control. What, you have an idea?
I'm gonna fill that hat up with confetti so it's all puffed out and all squished down. But obviously we can make cuts to this stuff.
Oh, so it does look. It does look
Oh,
good.
look, dude, you look,
Okay, let me
you
see
look
that.
dope back there.
Whoa. You are under the Titanic right now. I gotta like take my glasses off. I feel like they're glaring back at you. You know?
See, now it's not gonna all get
Oh yeah.
crushed up.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Little captain's hat.
You know how I got that idea from?
And you know the captain.
What?
Another fun fact: that the
yeah,
captain
actually-
of the Titanic went down with the ship.
Oh yeah. Well,
Look
you
at that fan. Go to that camera again.
Now it does look like we're about to shoot a gay porn.
So how I got that idea of stuffing the confetti in the hat. So, I mean, this might not be funny, but when I was a kid,
Yeah, you're right. It's not very funny.
my parents dressed me up as a pumpkin, and I was like a little fucking chubby fat kid. And
Yeah, go
I was a
ahead.
pumpkin,
Yeah.
but it was all kept the thing kept deflating.
Uh huh.
But like all fucking wonky. They stuffed me full of newspaper, so I'm like a plump pumpkin.
Plumpkin.
I'm a plumpkin.
Yeah.
And,
Dare I say?
I'm trying to get into the old whatever 90s fucking minivan, and I fell out, and I fucking like a real funny movie. I'm fucking rolling down a hill, and they can't catch me, and I'm like, "Ah," just rolling. And then I skinned my face and all kinds of different shit.
Oh.
But I was like 4, and I remember that.
Yeah.
But that's how I thought of stuff in the hat. What do you think, Nate?
You said that's not going to be funny. That's
I
hilarious.
was expecting you to say that all the stuffing fell out and you're like a pinata. People were chasing you around trying to grab the stuffing, but yeah, no, childhood's rough, man.
You don't even.
Childhood's rough, Your Honor.
Yeah, Your Honor, my client. So I'd like to thank you all though for being on the ship with us on this the inaugural launch of the dock. It's very exciting. It's very fun.
Yeah.
The first launch off the dock.
I have it because obviously Nate's like in between me and Marty, and so I couldn't see him, and he just peeked his head around the little hat. Oh, it's fucking awesome. Yeah. It looks fucking so good, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is only the first episode, and I already love it so much.
Oh yeah, no, it's super good in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking fun. It's so fucking
I
chaotic,
can even hear
dude.
you guys downstairs. It's so insulated.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, you couldn't hear Marty almost throwing up.
Yeah. Fred's goal is to make me throw up by the second
Did
episode.
you use the half and half out of the fridge? I was gonna say that's probably expired.
No, I went and bought heavy whipping cream, and then I had to look through the fridge because there's 2 different heavy whipping creams, and I was like, one of these is purple, and one of these is not. Probably.
Oh, is that why you put the food coloring in it?
Yes,
We gotta get
because to make it look dark, so you couldn't see what was actually in it.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it was fucking like paint. You should what?
To the exotic milk business.
Get into the exotic milk
Yeah.
business?
Camel, goat, possum.
Have you ever drank mezcal
Possum?
before? What?
What are you talking about? Possum?
I mean, you haven't lived until you've experienced all these different kinds of milks. I mean, you're just talking about heavy whipping cream and half, man. Like, imagine the possibilities, the taste variances of the different kinds of milk.
You know, people ask, like, what would it be like to be in the presence of Einstein or Stephen Hawking? And now I know.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great... You drinking more mezcal? Or you...
No, I was pouring some for Nate.
Oh, okay.
Woo. Have you ever had mezcal before?
It's tequila, right?
Well, kind of. Yeah, it is technically a tequila, I want to say.
Just they don't make
And
it
it's
with
a male.
agave or something
So,
like that.
I'm not very, I don't like the taste of alcohol.
Just hand it to me.
So, that being said, I will take a shot of whiskey or something without a chaser, and I feel like I'm going to throw it because I don't like the taste at all. But this is something else.
Yeah, it's just... I wouldn't kill it. I wouldn't kill it. I would get, like, a sip and see if you like it.
I would kill it, but
Okay.
that's just me.
You can kill it. You're an adult. You can do what you want.
What do you think?
It's not
It's like
bad.
a mix between wine and tequila.
Really?
Okay, yeah. See?
It's like a red wine tequila.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it tasted like a 80-year-old stripper's asshole.
You know, probably. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably more likely.
Acquired taste, bud.
Like, and her asshole had just been so worn down from gripping the pole and so much friction
Mm-hmm.
that it just had the smokiness to it.
Like, okay, I don't know, man. Like, but this fucking podcast is sort of out of control. I had a thought in mind and it just fell apart because you started talking about assholes.
Titanic.
80-year-old stripper
This
asshole.
isn't all my friends are dicks.
This is
This is something probably going to be a lot worse. At least all my friends are dicks has some sort of narrative, tells stories.
I feel like the narrative of all my friends are dicks is like jerking off, pooping, and what else?
I don't know, music, I guess?
Music. Jerking off, pooping, and music.
Yeah,
That's pretty much 99.9%.
yeah.
Kills 99.9% of germs.
Mm-hmm. The the hard pan. It's so funny, dude. But yeah, we I was gonna look up something because I was gonna bring it up on the podcast. We recently,
Charles can look it up there.
yeah. Well, it was more so about the name of this lady on for Hans Graves and Omens last week. We did a episode about this lady named Linda Napolitano. Linda Napolitano, right?
What kind of last name is that?
It's Italian.
Okay.
Napolitano.
Napolitano.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
give me those
it was
biscuits.
about a series of alien abductions in the 90s from Manhattan, and it ended up cycling into the most Italian American alien abduction stories of all time. And if you check out Hans Crazy Nomans on Instagram and Facebook, you should be able to find the bit.
And this was the latest episode.
Yeah, the latest episode. It's so funny, dude. Because she goes, this lady gets abducted by aliens, right? And it's like this fucking crazy story of her getting like abducted out of a window by the Greys and shit. And like, so she's in bed, and her husband's like, sleeping. And,
Hey, I'm sleeping here.
yeah, I'm sleeping. I'm snoring so fucking hard. But she's like, he's sleeping, and these Greys start coming into her room. And she does the first thing, and she just grabs a pillow and fucking whips it at an alien, like beams it directly in the head. And then they lift her up and take her out a window, like float her like over the street into a spaceship, and that's a whole thing. But her actual quote goes, "I'm just Linda. I'm just a regular housewife. Aliens? Nah." And that just stayed in my head for the past week of how that's the most Italian thing of all time. The fucking aliens? Nah. Definitely not. Yeah, man. It's so fun. I don't know what we're covering this week.
But they brought her back.
Yeah, they brought her back. Yeah, and then she's had to start going to like UFO like support groups, like abductee support groups for like alien
PTSD
abduction,
and whatnot.
which I was telling Taylor, I was like, that's got to be the most insane fucking like support group. Like not only because like it would be a crazy experience of like, or like, people who are like, I was abducted by aliens and then they put a probe in my asshole. Like it was more so like, can you imagine being in that room and like just sitting there and listening to people's stories? It's like, we have a new guest. It's gonna be, his name is Fred, and he's gonna tell a story. Yeah, they just kept putting fingers in there. Do you have any like that's kind of also irrelevant. Do you have any fun or like crazy things that have happened to you while fishing or like in the water? Anybody?
I mean, nothing like paranormal.
No, not like that. I mean, like just like crazy shit that's happened, or like you got injured in a way or whatever.
Not necessarily. I mean, I've had some cool shit happen, but like, so one time I'm fishing, and I am in like Oregon City, and plunking on the river, and I see a fucking bird flying. It was a hawk. And I'm watching it dive down. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's going for a fish. It was hella cool.
Yeah.
And swoops down, picks something up out of the water. I think it has a fish, and it's flying off. And I'm like, oh, that hawk's got a fish. And it's flying, and it drops whatever it has.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it fall. It lands right next to me. It was a fucking piece of pizza. A real, like, not even like a Papa John's piece of pizza. It was like a school lunch piece of pizza. Those
Like
fucking rectangular
squidless.
ones.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's awesome.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And we were just dying. And then another time, this one isn't, I should have started with this one because the other one's better. But I was going to cast, and I'm using like a 12-ounce lead, which is heavy enough to like, if I casted that shit and it hit you in the fucking head, you would get fucked up. It's like almost a pound.
Not me. I'm built
lead.
different. Simply.
But like, so I cast this, and right when I cast,
you continue your story. It's in frame again.
and right when I cast, these fucking geese fly by, and I fucking nail a geese out of the air with my weight as I'm casting. Oh yeah, a goose.
A goose?
I
Dare I
nailed
say
a
a gouse?
fucking goose.
Yeah.
There was a flock of geese, and I nailed the goose. And I fucking hit the goose, and it's like, honk, 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 honk. It's like, buddy. And and it just takes my line, and I'm like, fucking peeling my line off.
just fish on, Larry. Fish on. You're like, this one fighting, bro. You're like, your action's like fucking
And the
burning
goose
hot.
is like,
Yeah, I know. just like that. Yeah.
It's like,
No, it's your whole hands. You gotta do it with both your arms.
oh, like this?
Yeah.
What's really
Sideways.
What's really fun is, even though because Charles gave Nate the mic, what's even better is we can still hear Charles, and I'll pop up on the audio, and it just makes it even better if you just sit back like, no, like this. Hey, like this. Yeah, I have that's not related to a fishing story, but goose story. I used to play golf in high school, I still play golf, but I played on a team in high school for my high school, obviously. And where we played was a place out in Washington, Vancouver. And I'm trying to remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was like the toughest course in Clark County. It's the biggest one that was out there, one of the biggest ones. And we were playing against some other school, but unfortunately that where that course is located, there's a lot of water features because a lot of this area, especially on the other side, is swamps technically. There's a lot of like swamps all over the place. And there will be huge water features, like huge like ponds and shit like that. And that means a lot of goose and geese.
Yeah.
And we were doing this tournament, and dare I say, like probably about 400 geese show up. Like maybe minimum 400 geese. There was a lot. And it was an 18-hole tournament. Obviously, you want to go all the way through. And we get to the ninth hole. So we're halfway through, and that's where like basically a lot of the water is. And from fucking tee box to green across the entire fairway, which is if you know what a fairway is for golf, it's the entire middle section in between where you hit and then where you actually do your putting and do all that shit.
Tee to hole.
Yeah, and so it's all that was literally there was no space, just geese.
So would the fairway be considered the taint of golf?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Don't want to be there.
Says you. I'm a patriot. Now, that's been my thing lately is I'll just say some like really crazy shit and it's followed up with I'm a patriot.
Yeah.
Just to see what people say.
Like, give me an example.
Be like, yeah, no, I've kissed dudes before because I'm a patriot. You know?
Just kidding.
But
I got it just there.
Yeah. Good job, buddy. You're finally getting dialed in. But yeah, so I was like, oh, we got to like tee off, and I was like, what are we even gonna do? Because there's a fucking 200 geese in the way, and there's like you got to play on. So I was like, I'm just gonna hook this shit into the trees because there's a tree line off to the right. I'm gonna hook it into the trees, punch it to the trees, get to the hole. You know, I'll figure it out from there. And everybody else goes like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. We should probably do that. So everybody else hooks it in the trees, except for my buddy, who we called Cart Boy. Which I'll tell you a story about Cart Boy in a minute. But he goes, yeah, I'll do that too. And this dude had never hit a fucking straight shot in his life. Just fucking bombs it directly down the fairway, like just straight all the way down, and smokes a goose. And it gets up and gets pissed off, starts pecking at the ball, and then beds down right next to it. And so we all go trotting out to go get our ball. And he's like, oh, I'll take a drop. And they go, oh, no, your ball's, it's still alive. It's still alive. It's right there in the middle of the fairway. So he had to walk through like 200 geese to get his ball. And he's getting fucking bit and shit as he's trying to go get it. And then, so we go up, we start grabbing geese, and we're like throwing them. Cause they'll fly. They'll be fine. They're like, rah, and they're like flying off into the distance.
Geese you don't realize they're big.
They're
dude.
fucking huge. Yeah,
They're huge.
And he eventually got on the green, but yeah, Cart Boy is something else, man. We were playing on that same course, and we were had just got off the 9th hole, and the 10th hole you got to basically climb this huge ass hill, like a legit hill, and you have to shoot off this tee box that's probably maybe 30 plus feet up, and it overshoots a road, the stream that runs into the pond, and then like another set of tree line, and then the fairway. It's this fucking crazy shot. But I mean, if you just hit it super hard, it goes up and over. And so we all boom, 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 boom. All four of us launch it, send it up over the top, right? Well, Cart Boy was taking a while, and our coach goes, our coach has a cart, like his golf cart. He goes, I'll just drive him. I'll meet you guys down there. So as we're walking down the path, the ball, flies over the top of us, goes onto the fairway. Like, and we're all sitting there kind of waiting for him to kind of, to show back up. And it's like a standard golf course, so it's like these kind of like dirt roads, And we just hear like the sound of like screeching, and then we just see like a giant cloud of dust. I'm like, okay. And he was just pudgy. He was like this pudgy fat kid who had anger issues. Like dude was out of his mind. But he comes walking up and he's like brushing all the dust and shit off of him, all the dirt. I'm like, what happened to you? And he goes, yeah, the creek that's right there that runs into the pond. There's because it kind of bends in, it's like the hill, like that kind of bends into the creek. Well, I guess he had not put his golf clubs in the back where like you would put golf clubs, right? You put them on the back of the golf cart. He decided to hold on to them and not hold on to anything else. And so my coach ripped that 90-degree turn to meet up with us, and the fucking bag went out, and he followed it. Just launched him down a fucking hill into a creek.
Into a pile of geese into the creek?
No.
would've been
This was later on.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, we're handing out like, trophies for like people like we had people get like hole-in-ones and shit. So we had their ball mounted and get a hole-in-one, and we went and had a custom golf cart trophy made of best bail for that year. I'm like, you did it, man. That kid was fucking crazy though, man. We would play tournaments, and he would like go full almost like Eric Cartman, like screw you guys, I'm going him, like just immediately like give up. But he wouldn't go home. He would just start playing worse.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like not like he wasn't putting in the effort. He would just be like, yeah, I don't want to get out of my putter. I already have my driver in my hand, so I'm just gonna putt with my driver.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's a fucking tournament. We're trying to go to state, you motherfucker. Like it was crazy. Do you have any stories of like being in school and have crazy like people you went to like school with?
I mean, school for me was pretty crazy. Yes. Cause like I went to an alternative high school, and
So you're a criminal is what you're saying?
yeah, pretty much. So I had went to school, and like my entire 9th grade year, I went to a normal high school. Fucking 500-600 kids, whatever.
Yeah.
And then my entire 9th grade year, I spent the entire year ditching and smoking weed.
Nice.
As per tradition. And
Like
and Charles,
you mean like a cool kid?
Yeah, I was a cool kid. I was definitely a cool kid. But Charles, I went to school with him, and he would ditch with us every once in a while. It was me and my friend Randy usually. And I had this fucking shit box car. It was a Corsica, like 96.
Yeah.
I think
it was like a 94.
In 9th grade?
In 9th grade.
Okay.
That I bought for $500. Didn't use a key to start. It was just a fucking shitty car.
It was like Ricky's car on the trailer park.
yeah, bro. With fucked up paint job. Everything that works.
You mean to talk about the one that he would live in the background and live in the back seat and like grow weed and had like squirrels in it?
Yeah. Except it looked more ghetto than his car did. So we would drive it around. I had a like sticker to park in the parking lot, which I peeled off my friend's car who had started on fire. And so we put
I'm
that on
sorry.
there.
Okay.
And so like my buddy had
Yeah.
this truck, and he had registered it with the school. He got the sticker to park in the parking lot. His car one day fucking engine caught on fire, and his car is totaled. So we just peeled the sticker off, put it on my car. But we ditch and smoke weed. And one time I remember we were ditching, and we were like hella high, and my parents are divorced, so it's like I lived with my dad, and he would go work for 12 to 14 hours a day. So we would just go to my house, and we'd smoke weed and do whatever. And one day, we're rolling down the road. We like pull up to the road, going to take a right. My dad's in the lane taking a left, and I'm supposed to be at school. And we look at each other face to face. And I fucking just gas it, and I fucking haul ass to my house. And this was like really fast thinking. I fucking pulled up to my house, threw it in park, ran inside, and I grabbed a random piece of paper. And my dad pulls up. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I forgot my homework. I'm going back to school." I just hop in the car and I fucking gas it. And I'm gone.
Did you go back to school?
Yeah, I went back to school, and it was lunchtime.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was lunchtime, so I went back, and then I was walking, and the security guard stopped me because he seen me pull in, and like I wasn't supposed to be off campus yet because they had just stopped off-campus lunches for freshmen.
Mm.
And so he takes me to the office, whatever, and they were like, "Oh, what's your car?" And then they went and peeled the sticker off, and I got busted, and then I got written up, and then it was a bunch of shit. So at the end of the year, though,
Yeah.
because I had missed 80% of my freshman year, I got a report card in the mail, and across, it was all Fs, and across the entire front of the report card was like a giant red stamp that just said no credit. And so I had failed my ninth grade year, no credits the entire year. So I had to start fresh. So my dad put me in an alternative high school, which my brother was already there because he's also a fuck up. and my first day of alternative high school, I'm like, I worked at this restaurant called Sonia's, and I was a waiter / dishwasher / busboy. I just did whatever they needed me to do.
Yeah.
And so I needed to go pick up my paycheck. So lunch came. My brother, we were in my truck, which wasn't a standard truck, manual transmission. And he takes me to go pick up my check, take the check, go buy everybody McDonald's. It was me, my brother, and his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And we're rolling up the first day of school, rolling up in lunch to the park that we used to chill at. So right behind our high school was this park called Kiwanis Park. And everybody would chill there. They would stand in big circles, smoke blunts, pass them around and everything.
Yeah.
And go back to school stone. And so we roll up to this park, and I had never been to the school before. And then I hear, like, we're rolling up, and my brother's friend, this girl, was outside, and she was like, Michael, Derek's getting jumped, which Derek was, like, one of my brother's best friends. And he's like, oh, fuck no. He, like, jumps out of the car, almost bails, tucks, and rolls. He's driving, though. I'm in a manual transmission truck, and I'm sitting in the middle, so he puts it in neutral. And he jumps out of the car, and we're just still fucking coasting. And so I have to jump over, slam
you're
on the
high?
brakes, and I'm high as fuck. Slam on the brakes, get out, and then my brother just starts fucking fist fighting with this fucking dude, just like, and there's like 10 people just fighting. And then I'm like, this shit is nuts, bro.
What a fucking wild, like, in my mind, I imagine it like just this shot of like you three in the front seat, you know?
It was only a one-seater. It was like my truck now. There was no back seat.
Yeah, so it's like one, but you have three, right?
3.
So 1, 2, 3 in this like really tight space,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just like, hey, it's getting jumped, and then like it just cuts back to the shot of the fucking driver panel, and you're like, shit,
yeah. I had
shit,
to jump over,
holy
slam on
shit.
the brakes.
Yeah, like yeah, that's awesome.
And then so I did that whole year at that alternative high school by myself. Well, the next year, Charles shows up at that school because he's also a fuck up. And then so we had tons of adventures. I mean, like we were like fucking pulled up at the park one time. We're like smoking weed in the car. Same park, Kiwanis Park. We're smoking weed, and we're parked next to my buddy's car, and we're like close enough to where we can't open each other's doors, but we were just passing pipes back and forth between the, passing around our car, past the pipe, and we were like a couple pipes, and we're all smoking. There are 4 people in his car, 4 people in our car.
Uh-huh.
And we're all smoking, and then all of a sudden the fucking cops roll up behind us.
Oh shit.
And
yeah.
we're like, oh fuck. We're definitely getting fucking going to jail or something.
You were in
like
your
that.
dad's car.
I was in my dad's car. And we're like, oh fuck, hide the pipes. So we hide it under the back seat. And the cops come over, talk to us, and they're like, oh, what are you guys doing? And we're like,
just
you know,
kissing?
we're just hanging out, fucking just hanging out, talking, having fun. And he's like, oh, okay. And he goes over to the other car and then comes back. And when he goes over to the other car, starts talking, we're like, we should get out of the car and just start acting normal. So we like get out of the car. We're over there playing hacky sack with each other while the cop's talking to the other car.
Start
We're
acting normal.
Yeah, like we're just kids at the park.
yeah. So we're just playing hacky sack. Turns out,
I just imagine like we gotta start, guys. We gotta act normal, and it's like, how about the tax season's coming? I gotta start investing in that 401k I was building. I just whatever. Like,
but
what the
anyway,
fuck?
before that cop walked over to the car, he asked us if we were smoking weed. We said no. He was like, so if we search your car, we're not going to find anything. We were like, no. And there was literally like 2 pipes in the back seat. And so we go over, we start playing hacky sack. The cop comes over here and he goes, you kids have a good day. He gets in the car and leaves, and we're like, what the fuck? We're like sweating. We're like, holy fuck, that was gnarly. Turns out he goes to that other car, and there was this girl in the car. Her name was Kelly. And she had...
Oh, she's saying names.
Nobody will ever know who she is. There's a million
We can
Kellys.
beep it.
Her name was Kelly. Don't beep it. Her name was Kelly. And
Allegedly.
she had an uncle who was in the force who had died recently that she never really knew.
Yeah.
But when the cop asked her name, she said her name, and she said her last name, and he was like, "Oh, are you related to so and so?" And she started acting sad. She's like, "Yeah, that's my uncle." And then
That's so fucked, dude. That's
so he just let us go.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were like, as soon as he opens the car door, he's gonna see the pipes on the floor. We're gonna get fucking in trouble. We're gonna but we skated off on that one for sure.
That's wild.
Scot free.
Scot free.
I mean,
There's a couple instances.
There's,
where, like,
I
we
mean,
shoulda
that's
went
like
to fucking
mild
jail.
tame to like. We used to have Fight Club at lunch at my school.
yeah,
like,
we
for
did
real.
that. We did that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Where like all the kids would go down, we'd get UFC gloves, and we'd just.
Oh
like,
no, we didn't do that. We used to fight just to fight back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we used to do that. Too,
There was and that wasn't even like in high school. That was in middle school.
yeah.
I had a very troubled upbringing, if you will.
Yeah.
I wasn't a bad kid. I just was in a shitty living situation.
I was a bad kid in a okay living situation.
I was in a not very good living situation, but we I mean I would just like this guy that I knew was really weird, and I'm pretty sure he'd been becoming like a white supremacist. I don't know that for sure, but I mean I guess because he used to brag about being born on Hitler's birthday, so But he was like, "You want to fight at lunch?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we go out there just beat the fuck out of each other just to fight, Yeah, but we my high school, man, we would I mean I'm trying to think of like all the crazy shit. I had guns pulled on me before at high school, which was really cool.
Yeah.
We had that. We had like people like threatening to like blow up the school and shit, and the cops had to come out and sweep it. And,
Yeah.
But my middle schools were like all like the really wild shit happened. We had our school catch on fire 2 times in 1 year.
Did you set the fires?
No.
Allegedly.
Let me take this. Hold on. Let me fix these. Okay. No. Yeah, no. But yeah, like our school like caught on fire, like our kitchen caught on fire at one point, like what it was pretty standard. But we were in PE class, we're like running around, obviously like fucking kissing each other, grabbing each other by the fucking taint, and standard PE stuff. When our teacher kissed us on the lips, standard. Actually, that reminds me of something in high school I gotta talk about. But we were running like PE, and like the gym started filling with smoke, and I was like, "Oh, I'm running really hard. It's really steamy in here." And then my teacher's like, "Yeah, so the gym's on fire?" We fucking had to go outside, and that shit fucking burned down to the ground. It was fucking gone.
Damn.
It was pretty wild. But no, we had this fucking teacher in high school who, honestly, if anybody is ever gonna like Me Too somebody, right, it would be that fucking teacher. Because he was super weird. He was our health and PE teacher, but he was probably about 350 plus. Which is highly ironic.
Yeah.
He was so fat that like he would get up and wheeze.
Like,
yeah.
you kids run around this 10 times.
Literally just like that. He would sit down and be like, like you sat down. like you went and grabbed a fucking Coke out of your lunchbox that's on the other side of the desk and walked back. You didn't go that far, but yeah, like we would do like health and science and shit, like health science, like learning about like the human body, like learn about like general health stuff and learn
I
about.
You're going to say genital warts.
Yeah, that too. I mean, it was all science, so it was about STDs and things like that. And we, but like the girls would be like, he's fucking whatever you want to. I'm pushing. If you're not watching the video podcast, I'm pushing my tits together, and be like, well, I really like to be a cheerleader. It's really cool. And then like when we try to answer questions, I'd be like, Stacy, what do you think of the answer is to the to this question about this certain STD? Well, I don't know. It's whatever. And then it'd be like, okay, yeah. What about then I'd be like, what about this one? Well, I don't know. I'd be like, it's actually this, and he'd be like, shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up.
Like how we started the podcast with Charles.
Yeah, not quite like that, but like be like, all right, yeah, she's got it.
Yeah.
It's like
she gets the wrong answer, and he's like, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but our high school too
Dude, it's fucking weird, man.
was crazy. Like
Our high school was almost like a fraternity.
It fell fucking twice.
It always falls.
Yeah.
so our high school was like a fraternity, and in the later years of our high school, like before Charles got kicked out of the alternative high school, we used to party hard.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't really
That's why it
drink
was like
anymore.
a fraternity.
I don't really drink anymore, but we used to fucking drink, bro. Like,
Yeah.
every single night, school night, fucking every night, we'd go to my house after work. We had this kid. His name was Steven. And, I mean, he just went back to prison. So, like, he was always, I seen it on Facebook, like, 3 days ago. He's like, I'm going back to prison in a couple days, 4 years, if anybody wants to talk.
Steven, hey, Fred from the Doc and Hans Graves Nomans, let me know what your JPay is, and let me know if you wanted, like, a little pen pal. We can hook it up. We'll throw it on the podcast right here.
He'll buy you a few jerky sticks and bars of soap.
Yeah.
But,
and some preparation
That
H.
kid would drive so fucking drunk.
dude, he would get so smashed and drive. This kid, literally, how I knew he was gonna be ending up in prison, because he fucking would get fucked up and he'd be like, "Who wants to go to McDonald's?" And he would just drive and he would fucking roll over curves and shit. And then one time he fucking smashed into his grandpa's garage through a brick wall. And later on in life, after we moved here, I read the story in the Daily Times in New Mexico about how he fucking went to go rob his own grandpa, broke into his grandpa's house
told me about
where
this,
he lives, and he got fucking shot by his own grandpa.
That's fucking
and
crazy.
paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah.
From his own grandpa, because he was wearing a mask, and then he takes the mask off, whatever, and his grandpa sees it's him.
Grandpa don't play no shit.
Don't play no shit. But anyway, so we get like back to the high school years. We used to play beer pong every night, and we would play like, I mean, lots of crazy shit happened. We would play all night long. We would have like 7:30 packs. There'd be like 12 kids at my house.
Yeah.
My dad's trying to sleep in the living room. And like we'd be playing and we'd be like all loud. My dad would kick open the door and be like, "What the fuck's going on in here?" And we're like, just take a second break, and then he closes the door and we're like, "All right, resume game." Fucking keep playing.
No corrective action.
No, one time we were all in there. We were all around the table, and Sublime comes on. It's the "What I Got" song, and we're all like, "Love." Everybody's trying to sing louder than the person next to them. You know, they're like, "Love it is what I got. It's what I got." And like my dad walks in, he's like, "What the fuck is going on in here?" And my brother looks in here, he's like, "But Dad, loving is what I got." And everybody just starts laughing so hard. My dad gets so mad and fucking slams the door. We just kept going. And we just kept playing. And we've had times where like we're playing beer pong and there's like cops outside. A whole fucking alternative high school full of kids inside my house. And we're playing beer pong, cops outside, and we're like, "Shh, there's cops outside." Because they had somebody pulled over. And we're like, "Oh, that was dope." We just keep playing on. But this one time we had this party at my house. And this kid came to our house with our friend Zach. His name was Marcus, who just so happened to be one of my favorite teachers at the school. It was her son. And she was my first hour teacher. So when I went to school, I went straight to her class. And so he had came to the party. Nobody, like, I did not want him there because I knew he was kind of a troublemaker kid. And he did a bunch of coke at the party and stuff. And usually I didn't allow that shit in my house, like, back then. Or
your dad bust in like, and he's like, hey, let me get a fucking line of that.
I think at the time, honestly, my dad had a girlfriend down the road and he was staying at her house. So we were just there by ourselves. And so he was there because the next morning. All right. So we play beer pong till about 6 in the morning. It's light outside. We're all fucking hammered. We're like, we're fucking playing beer pong, taking breaks to go throw up and come back and keep playing.
Jesus Christ. What grade was this?
Like
10, 11.
10, 11.
Okay. That's pretty fair.
Yeah. So we're like playing beer pong and he gets so fucked up. 6 o'clock rolls around. Sun's coming up and he's smashed and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go drive home." And we're like, take his keys. And he's like such a fucking shit magnet. He starts fucking kicking over shit, breaking shit. He's so mad that we won't give him his keys. So we're like, "Fine, take your fucking keys." My friend Zach was like, "I'll just go with him." They go with him. I go to sleep at like 6:30 a.m. I wake up at 7:30 a.m. to my dad screaming at me
Yeah.
like yelling, and he's like, "You better get the fuck up right now and clean this whole fucking house." And my friend Zach, who was with him, his dad came over to my house and said, "Oh, well, they just got arrested because Marcus was driving down the fucking road, and he, like, I lived by, like, a elementary school. Across the elementary school was a fucking police department, and it was the SWAT department.
Oh, good.
Where
Yeah.
they kept all the SWAT shit and the SWAT team. And so he's fucking driving. He tries to drift around this corner, fucking boom, slams into a fucking cop car, bro. Goes to back up, takes off, slams into another cop car. He's in this big old Dodge fucking truck. Totals both the cop cars, goes to back up, takes off, fucking slams into a cop's off-duty car.
It was
The
in the
whole-
front of a cop shop.
It was in front of a cop shop and next to an elementary school.
Wow.
And and then the cops come out, arrest him and shit. And then my dad's afraid
good.
that
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. My dad's afraid that all the cops are gonna come over here. He's gonna get arrested because we were all drinking at his house, you know, and we're all underage. And so he gets arrested. Nothing happens of it, but I woke up. I had to clean my entire house in like an hour, and I'm still fucking wasted. And like,
Yeah.
I have to go throw out all the beer cans, everything.
Yeah.
And then I go to school
Yeah.
the next day,
Uh-huh.
and his mom is my first hour teacher, who was one of my favorite teachers, who probably still hates me to this day.
No, she doesn't.
Well, she never accepted my invite on Facebook.
Yeah, be your friend?
Yeah, she's not my friend on Facebook.
Well,
because
now
she
that
never
now that
accepted
you're
my
part of the doc, I think maybe now she'll be.
Oh,
more
I'll send her
inclined.
this episode so she can get the real truth.
Yeah.
But but he was the one that was doing like coke and stuff, and that all that shit happened because of him, you know, because he was the one out of hand, which I'm sure she realizes now because he ended up going to prison later. He just got out a couple years ago or a year ago. But
Hopefully, hey, listen.
Well, she
hopefully
said
he's doing better.
Yeah.
and then another
I don't think
time
he is.
with the same fucking kid, Charles's dad went out of town. So we
Oh,
throw a
dude.
fucking rager at his house, a rager, and this same kid shows up.
Yeah.
And we're like fucked up, playing beer pong all night long. That night was insane. It was one of the most insane party nights of my life. But I remember I was playing beer pong, and there was like a bunch of girls there, and I'm like fucked up, and I'm like, all right, if I make this next shot, and I was on fire. I was making every shot. And I was like, if I make this next shot, all you girls have to show me your titties. And they're like, oh, yeah, all right.
They're like,
Fucking seek it. They show us their titties.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, if I make this next shot, you got to take your shirts off and leave it off. And they're like, all right, sink the shot. They all take their shirts off. And then it goes bras. And then we took their bras and shirts and locked them in my friend's car. And then
that's such a high school thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're
Yeah.
like, pretty much they're almost naked. And they're like, oh, you guys got it naked. If we get naked, you got to get naked. And we're like, what? And we're already naked by the time they finish the sentence. And then,
Like, you guys got to be
Yeah.
tear off instantly. You're like,
yeah.
oh, I've been
Like,
ready
what?
this entire night. Yeah.
And then anyway, like, so this kid Marcus is there,
Mm-hmm.
and he, I'll let Charles finish this part of the story because he has a better perspective because I was off with like girls and stuff, but which was a real true story.
This is the part what I'm talking about is he after everyone had fell asleep,
Yeah.
Marcus. No, this is like criminal shit.
see-
That's the thing.
Well-
Allegedly,
He's not Marcus, but
Well, it makes it
No,
even, it
not
makes it even
Marcus.
funnier. Like you're telling the story, and then
Marcus.
I'm looking across the room, and I can just see Nate in the camera. And
Anyway.
he just
so this kid,
yeah.
he took off, and he
Uh-huh.
like everyone had passed out. I thought he had just left,
Yeah.
and he
comes back.
he comes back like at 5 a.m,
Mm.
and so we had thrown another party before that, and I knew I was like, I need to fucking sleep in my bed
Yeah.
or my dad's bed.
Yeah.
Because
And
kids
so-
were like fucking in his
Fucking
dad's
in it
bed.
and shit. Last time
And
we had a party.
Some girl threw up all over it one time.
But anyway, so I knew this time I had to sleep in his bed. So anyway, 5 a.m, fucking Marcus comes in, the lights off. He comes into my room and he goes, I have a gun. It says, I have a gun.
What a fucking wild thing to wake up to.
Yeah. So I'm like, what? And then he flicks the light on. He's like, I fucking stole this. It was like a shotgun, dude.
Dude, that's fucking.
Dude, and then so check it.
Hold on. That's fucking so violently out of control already. Can you imagine, like guys? I'm super fucked up, and they're like, "Yeah, me too." And they're like, "I got a gun." Like, whoa, time to fuck out for a couple seconds.
What'd you say?
A stolen shotgun.
You brought a stolen shotgun.
So anyway, what this kid did is, so this was after that too. This was after fucking the when he wrecked his car. This was after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is the same kid that crashed
Yeah,
into the wall. And
yeah.
got shot.
So this was after that. He comes in. He's has this gun, and then I'm like, I was drunk as fuck too, and I'm just like, dude, just go to bed, man. And so he doesn't because he's like high on meth.
Yeah, he was smoking meth.
He was like smoking meth at my dad's house.
He was like 16, 17.
What a fucking
He was even a little younger than us.
Okay, I mean that's awful and that's tragic. But what a fucking wild thing to say to someone like, dude, I stole a gun. You're like, go to bed.
But anyway, so he goes to bed. We wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And like most of the people leave, but like Marty and Chris and some of our
And so
my close homies stay, and Marcus is there.
But
and
hold on before you go, but I go in the living room and it's like Christmas motherfucking morning. This guy has so much shit in the living room that he went around the neighborhood and stealing shit from cars and yards and shit, and he just piled it all in Charles's living room.
Yeah.
You could continue, Charles, for there. So that was just
that was pretty much it. It was like, so he just went breaking into fucking cars in my neighborhood, which is kind of like, it wasn't a gated neighborhood, but it was like
a secured
neighborhood. It was just like
one of the nicer neighborhoods of like the ghetto, but it was just like there's a couple roads into the neighborhood, a couple roads out. It's not like, it's like, and it's its own little place. It's called the Caminas, and it's its own neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's like in an oval shape, and then there's like roads down the middle.
Yeah,
and then there's like ways in and out of it.
Okay,
but he had just went around the fucking Caminas, breaking into cars, and
stealing shit,
and like going back to my house, like kept, like just leaving a fucking breadcrumb trail to my house. But that gun, I was like, dude, that's
okay. So the next day, he just took the stuff with him, and we just didn't know what happened to any of it.
Just stole that shit, stole a gun and everything. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of like crazy party stories. I mean, I wasn't really like a super party guy in high school. After I kind of flunked out of high school and got like before I got my GED and shit and like got my life together, I was partying like a motherfucker, and which is even funnier because I was straight edge, which is a super weird thing to do. But I just was like, it's social environment. And then obviously I started drinking because of it. But I can't remember if I was with Vaughn. I don't think, maybe not. I was with somebody and went to this party. And it was at some random dude's apartment. And showed up. And he was like, yeah, my dad will drop us off. And he'll pick us back up. Because it might have been fucking Vaughn. It sounds, if I remember correctly. And he's like, yeah, it'll be really cool. Like, and he'll come. His dad was really cool, so he'll come pick us up and shit, And like, if anything crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Like if something's fucked up or whatever. And we, we're kind of vibing. Everybody's drinking. Some people playing guitar, and it's just, just kind of just a fun, nice vibe.
Yeah. And
my buddy's like, oh, can you grab me a beer? I was like, yeah, sure, man, I got you. So I go in the kitchen, and there is a giant dude. Like just fucking probably like in his 30s. And he's just standing there, and on the table next to him is a literal, like legit brick of Coke. Like I've never seen that much Coke in person ever since. It was fucking like, I thought it like, honestly thought it was like kind of fake.
Yeah.
It was huge. And
some Scarface shit.
Dude, he had a fucking sign. He had a sign next to it saying like $10 for a sniff. Or $10 for this, like $20 for this, $30 for this, It was like a fucking like a merch table for hard drugs. It was super crazy. And I grabbed my buddy the beer and I go out there. I'm like, bro, they got Coke in here. And he's like, yeah, it's probably not good. We probably should get the fuck out of here. Like, that's kind of sketchy because people are gonna start getting really, whacked here in a couple minutes, and it's gonna get fucking wild. And I don't know if I want to be here. And right as we say that, we hear, dum, 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 dum. Oh fuck, the cops are here.
Mm.
And dum, 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 dum. And everybody's like, oh shit, the fuck, turn the music down. We turn the music down, and we the apartment owner like walks up to the door, and it's two Vancouver police officers. They go, how's it going? Are you in this apartment? Like, yeah. I'm the guy. I live here. Go, okay. Like, yeah, we got a noise complaint. Seems like you got a party going on. It's like, yeah, we're just, we're trying to have fun. I'm sorry, we can keep it down. And they go, okay. Hey, is that Coke? And the guy fucking slams the door in the cop's face and locks it. And so we go, well, it's time to make our exit. And we're on the second floor.
Oh, fuck.
So we're not going out the front door. So everybody piles out to the balcony. And we just go, but there's only one reasonable thing to do. So we fucking jump off the second story balcony into some bushes.
Damn.
Get up, start running across the street. And we were hiding in the tree line across the street. And we're like watching, It's like, and he's calling his dad. He's like, fucking cops are here to fucking told us shit. And he's like, I'll be there in a few minutes. And he comes and like as we're sitting there like waiting for him to show up, and we're like, maybe it's gonna be fine. And then just cop car. We're like, oh shit. And his dad comes and picks us up down a couple blocks down, and we get in, we tell him the story, and he just starts fucking dying. And he's like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. But I've had so many fun like drinking stories. One of my favorite stories I have is with Vaughn, who's our drummer. And this other band with no name, technically, weird no name band. Mm-hmm. But we were with our old guitars and we're playing the band called back in the day. And
You said
yeah, that part I might cut out because I don't want to see if he probably won't like this, so I'll probably cut that part out. But we had a guitarist in a band that we were playing in. And he was this small, and I got to emphasize, small little Asian guy. Mm-hmm. Loved him to death. But he just couldn't hold liquor. But he drove. I was straight edge, and Vaughn was probably 16, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And Vaughn loves this story. And so we go to 10 Mile. Which is if you're from like the Clark County area, you know where 10 Miles and French's Bar. It's the party spot for all the high schoolers. So we go out there, we park, start walking in, and we go, oh, let's start a fire. Try to start a fire. Fire can't make a fire, but there's already a fire going like a couple feet away from us. So we go and join these people. There's like 4 people, and like, hey, can we join you guys? So they got booze and shit. Like, oh yeah, you can take some shots, do whatever. And, like, offering us stuff, and those guys took it, and I was like, oh, I'm good. And 3 of those 4 stand up and they go, we're going to go buy some weed. We'll be back in probably like 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, for sure. So they head off and we're talking to this guy, and we got to get Vaughn on the pod so we can verify what this guy's name was. But we're just BSing with this guy, and they're just getting just trashed. And I'm just vibing, just nice and warm next to the fire, like next to the water, just having this like nice peaceful moment with my friends, like it's just a fun, nice vibe. And I look off down to the south, down the water line, and there's these 2 dudes walking up, and I go, those are fucking cops. For sure. Those are cops. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there's got to be cops, but I don't really know. And I had an axe next to me because I was cutting firewood. And so we're just kind of sitting there. We're just kind of chilling. We're, the flashlight turns on. Just like, how's it going, gentlemen? I'm like, oh fuck, we're fucked. And the cop's like, hey, don't reach for that axe. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking chilling. You can take it if you want. And he was like, no, just leave it there. I'm like, cool. I'll hang out here. Go, what are you guys doing? I'm like, oh, well, we wanted to come sit next to the fire, and they had a fire going, so we figured we'd, come hang out with this guy because his friends were here and all that. And go, you guys know it's a fire band, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, when did that start? Like, oh, it started at midnight. It's like, oh, well, it's fucking 2 a.m. So, of course, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And they goes, oh, okay, that's fine. He goes, just give everybody's IDs. And so I pull my ID out, you know, just quick, boom, boom, and pull my ID out, got it ready to go. Vaughn gets us, and he's like, he doesn't have an ID because he's underage. And our guitarist is hammered, like bad. So bad he's like fucking like waving all over the place, like just, I mean, can't even, he's sitting down, can't hold still, like tipping back and forth like he's on a boat. And one of the cops was like, looks like your buddy's had a little bit too much to drink. I go, he's fine. And I was like, I just grab his fucking wallet out of his hands and pull his ID out, and I hand the IDs to the one cop. And then the cop goes to Vaughn and he goes, what's your what's your name? Oh, it's this. What's your date of birth? And he gives the wrong date of birth, making it seem like he's 18 because there was a curfew. And the cop goes, sorry, I got something in my ear because he has the earpiece in. He goes, what was that? And he goes, oh, it's my, and then he gives his actual birthday. Somehow got away with it. And hands the, gives the information to the cop, and he starts running it, and he goes to this other guy. And he's like, what's your name? And he goes like, fuck you, pig. I'm not going to tell you shit. And we're like, oh, that's a good start. Like, shut the fuck up, man. And they were like arguing back and forth. And the cop runs our shit, gives us back the IDs. I give them back to my buddy, put my ID back in my wallet. And they were like, yeah, we're probably just going to have you guys get out of here. Like, it's chill, whatever. Like, if you had something to drink, please don't drive. And all that. Being really cool. Mm-hmm. And that guy stands up and he goes, how about this? Fuck you. Just starts getting into the cop's face, and they fucking, dude, suplexes him, grabs him by the waist, goes straight back and bodies him into the fucking sand. Well, for somehow through drunk strength, that guy was still awake and started fighting with the cop, what like full on, getting in, like elbowing him in the face and shit. Like, I mean, really going at it, and they're fighting with him. And I was like, hey, can we just get out of here? And they're like, get out of here, get out of here. So we throw the axe in the bag, and we're dragging me and Vaughn are dragging our guitarist down the beach like it's fucking D-Day, dude. Like shit's going on behind us. We're like, we gotta get back to the landing craft. Like we're fucking like feet are dragging through the water and shit. We're like, gotta go. We gotta fucking go. And we throw him in the back seat. We throw him in the back seat of his own car. I grab his keys. I had just got my license. And Vaughn gets in the passenger seat, and he's like, holy shit, dude, that was fucking crazy. And we rolled down all the windows because it was a summer night. And we're like, holy fuck, man, that was so crazy. That was so wild. And then our guitarist goes, I don't feel so good, guys. I don't feel so good. I'm like, it's okay, man. Like, you probably just drank too much, It's okay. You'll be fine. And I have his window down, and he's got his head halfway, when you have your he had his mouth kind of halfway out the window, halfway inside the car, just resting his head on the window seal. I don't feel so good, guys. And starts fucking just vomiting super hard on the inside and the outside of the car.
I've done that before.
Hard.
I've done that before.
And I'm like, oh my God. And so we start driving down. There's a fucking road. And I can't remember what that road is, like Frenchman's Bar Road or whatever, the one out of Vancouver. People, if you're from the area, But
is that out towards Sauvie Island and shit?
It's past that, or it's more.
It's on the other side of the Columbia.
Yeah. It's out there Washington, Vancouver. It's near the port of Vancouver, and we're fucking. It's it's a 50-mile-per-hour road, so we're just mobbing, going. I'm like, we gotta go get him home or get him back to the house, and I was like, I'm probably gonna stop and grab him some Gatorade and shit, because I had saw him throw up on the inside, but what I couldn't hear, because me and Vaughn were talking, was him puking more in the back seat, all over himself and all over the inside of the car and the outside of the car. And we fucking we stop at a gas station. It's closed. We go to the next gas station and it's open. So I get out of the car and I look, and there was hot rod flames of vomit all on the outside of the car. It's this sick decal, And I go inside, I buy him this Gatorade. And I go hey, man, can you have any paper towels or anything? And he goes, what do you need paper towels for? And I just point outside, and he looks, and he goes, oh, yeah, dude, I'll give you a whole roll. Gives us a whole roll. So I'm carrying this Gatorade, some gloves, and some paper towels. And I walk outside, and 4 sheriff units roll into the parking lot, at the same fucking time from different directions. And I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Like, I'm fine. I have a valid license. I'm sober. I'm driving. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I might not have even had a valid license at the time. I don't remember, but I think I did. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've hit my head a lot since then. But we, the cops, they all get out and they're all talking with each other. And it was a thing I guess they did like every shift where they'd go to that gas station, get coffee and BS, and then go back on their duties. And so they're like, oh, yeah, it was so funny, blah, blah, blah. And they all pause and they look over at me and I'm holding on this shit. And they look over at the car and Vaughn's in the front seat going like grabbing his head and like, oh my fucking God. And then in the back seat is our guitarist going, my dad's gonna hate me. Because it was his dad's car. But dad's gonna hate me. He's gonna hate me. He's gonna hate me. He's just fucking melting down. And meanwhile, there is vomit dripping from the windows, like from the outside of the car. And the cop looks at me and he goes, rough night? I go, yeah. And he goes, you haven't been drinking yet, have you? And I go, no. And then he starts fucking dying. He's laughing super hard. They go inside, they go buy their shit. And we fucking drive it back to Vaughn's house. And Vaughn's dad is one of the fucking best people that I know. I love that guy to death. But we take him back to Vaughn's house. We drag our guitarist out of the fucking car, get him inside, put him in the bathroom, just like next to the toilet, even though he's like barely conscious. And Vaughn's like, I'm gonna go grab the hose and go try to hose off the outside of the car. And that woke up his dad. So I'm just standing out there watching Vaughn hose the side of our guitarist's car that's just covered in puke. And his dad comes out and he's like, what the fuck's going on? And he's like, oh shit, that's crazy. And he opens the door and there's like puke inside the window seal. So it went into the door frame and shit. And he's like, that's fucking crazy. That's
like Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah. Dude, he was like, that's fucking crazy. And he closed it. And by this point we had gotten our guitarist out in the living room and got like a pillow and a bowl and shit. And he had stuffed his hand down into his pants and was like holding on to like his fucking business, like just did it while fucked up, like and was asleep, just holding on to his like dick and balls like fully. And his Vaughn's dad walks in, looks down and goes, little guy couldn't take it, huh? We're like, yeah. And he goes, ha! And immediately goes to bed. Just immediately just didn't give a shit. Yeah, he's such a G, man.
Yeah. I have a similar story, I mean, without the cops and a lot of the other shit, but
yeah.
On my 21st birthday, we went to downtown Portland, and I had been living here in Portland for about a year at this point.
Yeah.
A year and some change. And so we go down. We go bar hopping, like Ash Street area. We go to Ash. We started at Ash Street.
Yeah.
And I got fucking hammered. Then we went down the road to Lions Bar. And I'm sitting at the bar, and this bartender who's fucking smoking hot, like, walks up to me, and she's like, oh, it's your birthday, huh? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you want a blowjob? And I was like, what?
Well, yeah.
And then she was like, you want a blowjob? And
I already know what that is.
Oh yeah. She's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a blowjob. And she hands me a drink. So I take the shot. It's called a blowjob. Well, I did not know what it was at the
blowjob shots,
time.
yeah.
But anyway, I ended up getting hammered, which is the first and last time I ever had an AMF.
Really?
Yeah.
I love AMFs.
So
We had a couple.
I did have a couple because I had one, and my other friends had one too, and I ended up drinking theirs. And then I'm fucking hammered, bro. I'm so fucking hammered, and Charles is hammered. And then we're like, and also I was kind of a different person at the time, but like, so we go outside, and then I'm like, oh, I want to pick up a bitch. And then, which I don't refer to as now, but
yeah. Now you said something worse, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And
I would like to pick up a
like,
fine
Marty,
woman.
we gotta go. And I was like, I'm smoking a cigarette, and I was like, no, I got from here to here to pick up a bitch.
I mean, you're like, find me a bitch. Marty gets like this feistiness.
And then I was like, look, there's some bitches right there. And I'm like pointing, they all look at me. And then they're like, get in the fucking car. And then I was like, all right, get in the car. And we're driving home, and I have to fucking vomit, bro. I'm sick as fuck. And she just got a brand new fucking car. Brand new car. My homie's girlfriend at the time. Well, they're still. But my homie's girlfriend got a brand new car. Her dad bought it for her.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to roll down the window, but it has a child lock on it. So it only rolls down about like that much. And then I'm like, oh, like trying to throw up out of this little fucking crack in the window. But it's going all over me and all over the inside and the outside of the car, like how you were saying.
Yeah.
And then I get home, and by that time I had take my shirt off, so I'm shirtless, and I'm just this fucking fat drunk guy walking up to my apartment. And I'm just covered in vomit.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and there's this guy in our living room. He was like my buddy's friend because we worked at a call center at the time, and he was like this, I forget exactly what he was, but he was definitely like Middle Eastern guy.
His name was Ali.
His name was Ali, but he was literally dressed in like whatever garb, like
Like traditional garb.
traditional garb.
Yeah.
He was dressed in traditional garb. So I walk in and I'm fucking hammered. And he's sitting on my couch and he starts like trying to give me life lessons, like fucking all kinds of shit.
Well,
Cause-
listen. When he, because I was there, I was fucking wasted. I made it all the way home,
Yeah.
but then I had to puke. And I was fucking puking in the trash can, and like Ali's looking at me, and I'm like, "Bleh. What's up, Ali?"
But then like Charles, but then like I guess they had taken my clothes, which I threw up all over, and they threw it in Charles's room for some reason.
They're mad at me for that.
Yeah, they're mad at Charles. And then a few days later,
Yeah.
they're like, what the fuck is that smell? And it's just a pile of my clothes covered in vomit. And then for years, she was like, you owe me money because the vomit, her car just smelled like vomit from then on.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it had gotten inside the door panel.
Yep.
And she had to literally go and get the door panel taken off and them to clean it out for it to like.
Listen, you can do that shit in like 15 minutes. That's easy.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on now.
But she was like, you owe me hundreds of dollars and like all this stuff.
We
but-
spent $100 and I could have done that for free.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so definitely some fucking crazy drunk nights.
I have so many more. I mean, we're pretty much at time here, but the last story I have to tell is more so about the AMF thing. One of my dear friends, his name is Edwin. He has been on my ghost hunting team for a long time. It's H.G.O. Paranormal Research. You can check our logo right here. And I've been friends with him for so long, and his 21st came around, and he's like, yeah, my family, not really. I mean, they're like traditional. I mean, not traditional, but like, they're like, oh, we're doing stuff. We got a lot of, got our kids and everything, stuff, life stuff going on. It's like, so you want to go out and go get some drinks for my birthday? And I was like, dude, I'm fucking there, bro. Like, I'm, you're my boy, so let's go do it. So I took him to this bar called Shanahan's out there in Vancouver. And I love that place to death. And if you've been to Vancouver, Washington, Shanahan's is the Irish bar to go to. I love that place. But he was like, what should I get? Like, asked the bartender. I can't remember what her name is. And she's like, honey, you get whatever you want, man. Like, it's your birthday. Like, what kind of drink do you want? Like, maybe look up some cocktails, and I can make you a cocktail that sounds good to you, and do all this stuff. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, man, I'm like, beer's a good start. That's a good first drink, or like maybe a tequila sunrise, or something fruity, for your first drink. And he's like, yeah. And he looks through. And, I got it. And he's like, first fucking drink. He goes, can I get a AMF? And then go, yeah. So they pour him an AMF, and we go out back, and we're smoking. I'm smoking, and he fucking kills it, because he's like, oh, it's so good. Fucking whoop, straight back, gone. And he's like, I'm gonna go get another one. And she's like, I can only serve you 2 of these in an hour, so this should probably be your last one. He's like, it's not that bad, blah, 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 because he didn't know what an AMF meant.
Yeah. Which
And-
it means.
Adios, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he kills another one before I even finished my first drink. And after about an hour, I had some homies that worked there, so they're coming back and they were smoking, and we're BSing, we're drinking, hanging out. And he was like, dude, I'm so fucked up right now. Like, what's going on? And he's like, getting like all shaky, you know. And I don't know. Am I like, did I not eat? I feel like I might need to eat. I don't know. Like, I'm like, dude, you're hammered. That's what's wrong with you, bro. You drank 2 AMFs in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You are fucking out of your mind. Yeah, what a guy. And then I didn't see him for quite a while, and he had like some work. He had worked some jobs. And I got with him, and I was like, I'm looking over at Charles. That's funny as fuck. And we had, I was like, come over, let's play video games and hang out, because I didn't drink with him, whatever. It's like, we'll get some fucking drinks, we'll just bullshit, we'll play video games, and, you know, just do whatever. And so we're all set up, got the couch set up, and we're just like BSing. And he's like, oh yeah, I brought some Jack and Coke. I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude, it's a solid party drink.
Mm-hmm.
And he hands me the Coke, and he has like just a standard bottle of Jack, and he fucking cleared that thing, cleared it like within maybe 30 minutes, which is gnarly.
Yeah.
And then he's like, good to go. And I was like, you're not good to go. I was like, we're gonna have to do like some breathalyzers and shit, you know. Like, I actually have breathalyzers at my house, which I should probably bring here, which would be really fun to do for the podcast. But I was like, you know, I don't know. So I waited like probably 2 hours after we stopped drinking, and I gave him a breathalyzer. I'm convinced that wasn't Jack. It wasn't Jack in there. It tasted like Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fucking change. I mean, he got to like 0.3, which is like a beer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you on about, man? Like, that's crazy. So I made him sleep over at my house because I didn't believe that he was actually sober.
Yeah.
It's like, something's fucked up. But we got so many more drinking stories to tell. And unfortunately, we're at time. So with that, thank you so much for joining us on our first ever episode of The Doc. Yes.
And we got a lot more stuff planned, so you're gonna want to see some shit for sure.
Yeah, we have so much like violent things that are gonna happen to us. More so than Marty getting it directly in the fucking face. I can't wait to go watch that footage.
Yeah.
But be sure to follow us on Instagram. Marty, if you want to give your Instagram or your social media stuff, I'll pull up all of our BS because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's right here at Ghetto Feather. And you can check out our podcast, All My Friends Are Dicks, and Fred's podcast,
Haunts, Graves, and Omens,
which he puts out every
Sunday. Every Sunday it comes out. And be sure to go check out my friends. I'll put a huge list like right here of all my friends' podcasts that are just, I fucking love them to death. And if for those of you listening into just the listening platform, it'll be in the description. I'll just put a big ass list of everybody, but I'll say them off the top of my head. We'll do Maniacally Midwest, we'll do Verbal Garbage, and Pacific Northwest Haunts and Homicides, and my fucking boys who are coming on hopefully really soon, the Go Deeper podcast. I was just on with them recently. It was fucking fantastic. We ended up getting really, really hammered after the podcast. Went to the bar right next to my house. Got just hammered. Fantastic. But be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheDocComPod and TheDocCompod at Instagram. You can follow us on The Doc Comedy Podcast on Facebook. And go be sure to follow our Instagram and our Facebook of the Comedy Chaos Network, where you have links to all of our fun little shows we do, the Haunts, Graves, and Omens, the Doc, and All My Friends Are Dicks. But you can follow myself directly at I Hunt the Haunted. And you follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/HauntTheHaunted. Once we get our Twitch up for the Doc or for the Comedy Chaos Network, we'll put it in there. But usually I end the show for Haunts, Graves, and Omens by saying like, stay spooky, stay haunted, and I have a bit. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to say here now.
I think you guys should dock. Get up and dock, and then we'll call it.
As per tradition.
Let me just unplug my monitors.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
It'll just hold on.
Yeah.
Get it.
Let me unzip.
Why does it look like that?
Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
That's fucking.
It's crazy. It looks like the flood from Halo.